Okay, friends, this is what we're working with today. This beautiful holiday pumpkin cheesecake with our roasted pecans on top. So let's get on in this Boozin Food kitchen so we can get this beautiful dessert together. All right, I'll meet you over on the counter. First, we want to talk about any pre-preparation necessary to get this cheesecake going. What you see in this bowl right here is 4 8-ounce blocks of cream cheese, and that's what, 32 ounces of cheese. Yeah, and it's at room temperature. I've had it sitting out all morning so it can be softened and ready for me when I'm ready to put this cheesecake together. Also, you want to get your 4 eggs at room temperature also, so they'll be ready to go. Now what we're going to do is get our food processor pulled to the front so we can get our graham crackers in here and get our crumbs ready for the crust of this cheesecake. Okay, so I'm getting 12 whole graham crackers put into my food processor here, and what I'm going to do is just pulse these until they are crumbs, very fine crumbs. To these crumbs, I'm adding a 1/4 cup of sugar. To this mixture, I'm now going to add my 4 tablespoons of butter. Okay, so now we're going to get this put into our springform pan. And I'm using a 9-inch springform pan, you can see here. And we'll get our crust put down in there, and then we'll get this into our 350-degree oven. So we're taking the last of our crumbly mixture out of there, and then we're just going to press it down into the bottom of this pan. I'm going up the sides just a little bit here, but making sure that I get it all the way across there. And you just do this with your hands, and you see how easy that is to just make that graham cracker crust. Or you can buy these crumbs in a bag in the grocery store, but it's a little cheaper to kind of do it yourself. So yeah, just go around there and press it down. And make sure you have your oven heating up at 350, because we're gonna bake this for about 12 minutes there, and it's going to really set up then and then be ready for our cheesecake. Okay, so I hope I can kind of twist this to the side so you just kind of see how I'm getting that together. Okay, to my 32 ounces of softened cream cheese, I'm going to go ahead and add 1 1/4 cups of sugar. And I'm not sifting this sugar because it's not like a cake per se, it's a cheesecake, so it's not that particular. Let me get this off of this, and we're going to get this mixed. Now we're adding 3 tablespoons of flour. 2, 3. I'm going to get that mixed in. And we don't want to over mix at any time. Now I'm adding in 1 15-ounce can of a pureed pumpkin. Now you by all means can cook your own pumpkin if that's what you prefer to do. But you know, it's just easy with the can of pumpkin here. So I didn't want a big old pumpkin, you know, and trying to see whether I was going to do with all that other pumpkin mix, okay? So I'm not just a pumpkin pie eater, I'm more of a sweet potato person. But when it comes to this cheesecake, I'm a pumpkin cheesecake eater. So there, we got our pureed pumpkin in there. I'm going to stir that in a little bit. Now what I'm adding is 2 tablespoons of pumpkin pie spice. Now I'll tell you, this pumpkin pie spice is hard to find. For me, it's hard to find. So I usually make my own by using about a tablespoon or so of cinnamon, and then I add in about a teaspoon of ginger and about a teaspoon of nutmeg, and then about another teaspoon or so of allspice, and that's how I get my pumpkin spice. And that's 2 tablespoons that I just added to that. And now if you can find pumpkin pie spice, go for it, but it's just hard for me. I don't know why, but you know, it is. So I'm going to add now a half teaspoon of salt, and then I'm going to put a tablespoon of this whiskey. Now you know it's going to be some booze, so I'm going to put a tablespoon of whiskey. If you want to opt out of the whiskey, go ahead and put you a tablespoon of vanilla extract in there. Okay, so we're going to get this stirred together. And now we're ready to add our eggs one at a time, and we're going to beat after each egg. Okay, you can see our crust is ready, and it's cooled a little bit there. And I have it on a cookie sheet because I'm getting ready to pour the filling into the crust and put it into the oven, okay? So here we go. So I'm pour it right on there. And I've also lowered the temperature of my oven from 350, where I bake the pie crust at 350. Now I've lowered it to 300 to get ready for our cheesecake. Now I'm gonna put this cheesecake in the oven. Let me turn my bowl this way so I can scrape it all out. But I'm gonna put this cheesecake in the oven for 45 minutes to bake. After the 45 minutes, and listen to me carefully, after the 45 minutes, you're going to turn your oven completely off. Do not open the door. Leave the cheesecake in there for additional 2 hours. Just let it sit in the warm oven. And after that 2 hours, we're going to take it out. So do not open the oven after the 45 minutes of baking, okay? So we're going to go ahead and put it in the oven 45 minutes at 300 degrees. I can't express that enough. And then after the 45 minutes, turn your oven off and let the pie sit, the cake sit in the oven for an additional 2 hours before you remove it, and then we'll go to the next step, okay? Okay, our cheesecake is done. After baking for 45 minutes and sitting in the oven for an additional 2 hours. And that should have prevented it from cracking. So I'm not exactly sure what happened with this little crack that's going on in the center of my cheesecake, but it did it, and sometimes that happens, but you know what? This is life. But we're gonna let it sit here an additional about 30 minutes before we go on to the next step. Okay, there she is. Okay, so we're getting together our sour cream topping for our cheesecake. In this bowl, I have 8 ounces of just any sour cream that you would like to use. Into this sour cream, I'm going to put 1 tablespoon of sugar, and then we're going to put a teaspoon of whiskey. Yes, the same whiskey that we put in our cheesecake will be going into the sour cream topping. All right, and then we're just gonna remove the spoon here and get this whipped up. So what you see me doing is putting the sour cream topping on the pie, the cheesecake rather, and we're just going to kind of swirl it around there. And before anybody say, oh, you're just trying to cover up the crack. Well, the sour cream topping was already in the plan, but it was a good plan because I like this topping on this cheesecake. But since the crack was there, it is a good cover for the crack, and your guests will never know that it was there, right? So there we're gonna go. So as this pie continues to cool in the refrigerator, this topping will just meld right on in with it, okay? And I'm trying to just keep it right from the edges because I want it to really show on here and not lose any when I take the spring form off. Okay, all right, and now what we're doing is taking some roasted pecans, and we're going to come across the top with these roasted pecans. I just love this on this cheesecake. They add such a wonderful another level to the taste here. So we just go across the top like so, and you know you can go any kind of design way with these. You could take it around the edges, or you could just plop it in the center, either way that you want to do. But at any rate, that's what we wanted to do with it right there. Press them in just a little bit, and then I'm going to come across the top of our cheesecake with some plastic wrap, and this is what we're going to do with it before we place it in the refrigerator to cool for about 3 hours. So hold on to your taste buds there for 3 more hours. I know you said, Lord, when we're going to get to eat this cake? But after 3 hours, where it gets to set, and then we'll be ready. Okay, so we're going into the refrigerator, and then we'll be back to give her a cut. Okay? Okay, so she's been in the refrigerator for 4 hours or a little better, and so now I'm gonna run this casing knife. We don't want to use anything that's really sharp. I'm just going to run this around the edges to make sure that she's releasing. Usually they do fine coming out of this pan. I just run this around the edges. So, okay. All right. That way. And now I'm just going to release the spring here. Oh, okay. Whoa, okay. And there she is. So she's still sitting on the bottom pan. And looks like she's set up pretty well. Very pretty. So now I'm going to do my best to get her off of this plate and onto a little cake plate here. So we'll be right back, and then we'll slice into it. And I think this is just a beautiful cake to have on your table on Thanksgiving. It's just beautiful, just a beautiful cake. Okay, so we'll be right back. Well, okay, y'all, we got our pumpkin cheesecake done with this wonderful whiskey sauce on it. I think it turned out pretty well, y'all, if I have to say so myself. And this is a wonderful dessert to have on the table during the Thanksgiving season. You know, with the pumpkins and the fall colors and everything. It's just a beautiful cake. Look at that beautiful color on it. Wouldn't you agree? It's really beautiful. So I'm gonna go ahead and dig into this, and I wish you all would give it a try. And I like to say, I like pumpkin pie. I'm a lover more of sweet potato pie, but I love cheesecake. So when I marry these two together, it works for me. It really does. And these roasted pecans on top, honey, don't rest on that. So let me go ahead and throw this in my mouth. And I want to thank you all for letting me be part of the peak to your day. And y'all have a good rest of your day, okay? Oh yeah, I'm gonna have to get another piece, y'all.